Fuzion Frenzy!
Tell me, when you think of the original Xbox, what game comes to mind? Okay, it's Halo, right? We all know it's Halo. If you had the original Xbox, you had Halo. However, you can only teabag your friends on Hang 'em High so many times before, let's face it, you need something else to play. Now, one thing you need to know about the early 2000s is that finding new games was just not as easy as it is today. We didn't have streamers, YouTubers, or easy to access forums to help make our decisions on what to grab next, but what we did have, however, was demos. Back then, most games actually came with demos and game trailers already on them. And since we all had Halo, we all had access to all of this bonus content. We had trailers for games like Oddworld, Azuric, Brute Force, video coming eventually, and more importantly, a demo for Fuzion Frenzy. Now, Fuzion Frenzy was pretty much Xbox's answer to Nintendo's Mario Party, and while many people have tried their hands at replicating Mario Party's success, Fuzion Frenzy was one of the few that actually did rather well at adopting the party game formula. In fact, from 2000 to 2006, it was the 93rd highest selling game with over 680,000 copies sold, which for that time is no small number. The concept for the game is pretty simple. A futuristic competition with kind of an edgy punk feel to it all. Really early 2000s aesthetic, which I absolutely love. You have around 45 minigames to play, plus the stage-ending minigames, as well as 6 characters to choose from. Samson, Jet, that asshole Zack, Naomi, Gina, and of course the best choice of all, Dub. The main party mode is set between 2 to 6 different stages, and the minigames you play there will be based around each stage's theme. So the docks will have minigames based around a lot of water. Downtown will have games based around music and fireworks, and the Coliseum will have a lot of these hipster ball things. On each stage you play, you'll have 3 minigames to actually collect orbs that get used in the final stage's minigame to determine the overall winner. This stage-ending minigame, or Fuzion Frenzy, is a game where you work to collect orbs and deposit them in certain locations. The more you grab at once, the higher the point value will be. However, be careful, because that dick Zack will try to beat the crap out of you and just steal them from you.
Candy from a baby.
Fuck you, Zack. Before the minigame actually starts, you'll actually get a choice of what to do with the orbs you've already won. Keep them for an automatic 10 points an orb, or be a little bit more risky and let them out on the playing field in hopes that you can bank more than one at a time to amplify their point value. During the minigame, you can only grab orbs of your color and the white ones that spawn in randomly, but you can also steal other player orbs if they've already picked them up. So even if you lost most of the other minigames, if you play intelligently on the final stage of the game, you can still come out on top. I also really want to point out, these final minigames at the end of each stage are not just pretty fun, but they also have some really interesting little arenas. Not only does every stage have a different style for the final minigame, but just the way you can interact with them to mess with other players is fantastic. You can use missiles, loudspeakers, or even flood parts of the arena to stop other players from scoring. Plus, different stages will actually change halfway through to help keep things pretty interesting overall. For a stage-ending minigame, it's actually really enjoyable. But let's be real, as nice of a setup as the main game has, what's a good party game without good minigames? And fortunately, of the 45 minigames Fuzion Frenzy has, just about all of them are actually pretty fun. A few of my favorite games are games like Sumo, or pretty much Mario Party's bumper balls. To be honest, every game with these little crazy hamster balls is pretty great, from the racing one to the hitting one to the one where you have to find the little pads and bounce around like a lunatic. It's just always a lot of fun to play around in. They also have games like Twisted System though, a simple jump or duck minigame that just has a really nice feel to it all. And let's not forget some of these crazy bug smashing mini games you have. And you have some where you're spraying bugs to get points, some of them where you're just beating the crap out of them, even one where you're defending a cheeseburger, because I guess, why the hell not? You even get to play some rhythm games, which to be honest, have some really great music tracks. What are you doing? Go back to the gameplay. This whole game really feels like a product of its time, and that's not exactly a bad thing if you're feeling a little nostalgia for the early 2000s. And the good part is, with as good of a game as this was, they never really killed the franchise with some half-baked sequel that almost no one ever played. Motherfucker. Oh, okay, I guess I have to mention what killed this hopeful franchise. So, Microsoft Studios, after seeing the success of the first one, obviously wanted to create a second. And this time, they seemed like it was on the right track. I mean, they got the Hudson Studios to work on it. I mean, these guys are the king of party games themselves, the creators of Mario Party. So you would think this would be a recipe for a major success. Unfortunately, we instead got this. The game was a bust. Fewer minigames, a terrible art style, and one irritating announcer.
Hello to all you viewers out there. I'm DJ Marcana, and I'll be sticking with you until the bitter end of today's contest. Okay, players, are you ready for action?
God, now I hate someone more than I hate Zach. What are you looking at? I mean, how do we go from this to this?
It's fun. Look at the fun we're having.
Despite how awful the second game was, the first game is still a really fun party game, and now that it actually has been added to Xbox's Game Pass with enhanced graphics, it's as easy as ever to get your hands on it. All in all, Fuzion Frenzy is a game I simply cannot recommend enough. If not for the minigames, then at least for that early 2000s nostalgia kick. It really does deserve the title of a Xbox classic. And hey, if you're into classic Xbox games, why don't you go check out our Unreal Championship video over here to my left. Or if not that, then of course, whatever YouTube's recommending over here to my right. Either way, thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again real soon.